Welcome to the Big Space Show.
A moment in space.
Where each week we host artists, creatives, innovators, entrepreneurs, pioneers,
And those who wish to shape reality.
Our goal is to think, shift, transform, and better understand the shared experience we all have, life.
So sit back, stay still, stay present, and join us on this journey as we uncover the stories that shape us. Let's spend a moment in space.
Welcome to the Big Space Show, A Moment in Space. Today we have on Miss Albani Beza of Beauty by Albani. She has started her podcast, so we're getting ready to talk about Miss Albani Beza. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I am from Missouri. I born and raised there, and I have two small boys. They are 5 and 3. They're my best friends, the reason I do everything I do. And through my pregnancies, since they're so close in age, I just really wanted to set myself up to have like flexibility and being able to be present with them. So that's when I decided to pursue doing hair. I've always had a passion for journalism though, so now that like hair, I've gotten that established, and doing hair and makeup is kind of running itself at this point. A friend of mine that I grew up with, we decided to start a podcast so I could kind of like get into some of the journalism stuff that I feel like I've been missing, so.
Yay.
Yes.
Okay, tell everyone a little bit, just a little snippet of the podcast and where to find it and everything, because at this point it is now out.
Yes. Okay. So the podcast is called No One Asked. It is, like I said, with a friend of mine. We grew up together. And it's pretty much just going to be like two girlfriends hanging out, chit-chatting about life. We are now like in our mid-20s, and I have kids. She doesn't. We both run businesses, but hers is like product-based, mine is service-based. So we're really just diving into like our unpopular opinions on things, lifestyle things, just everything. Like when I say everything, I mean everything. So yeah, we're on Instagram and Spotify, so you can find us at No One Asked.
Okay, that's awesome, guys. Go ahead and check out Allie's podcast with Miss Anna.
Yes, with Anna.
Okay, so let's just dive a little bit into your industry. What's your favorite product or tool that you literally can't live without?
Okay, so my favorite tool currently is the Bioionic curling iron. It's my favorite. Doesn't matter which size you get, which kind of curling iron. They all, like the material it's made out of is just 10 out of 10. So it's my favorite curling iron to use. Product-wise, I really love IGK, that whole brand, but they have a heat protectant that is frizz control, and of course then the heat protection, oh my gosh, why am I blank? It's called Good Behavior. There we go. Bioionic is a more expensive, but it's a tool, you know, so it's going to last you a long time. It's worth the investment, I feel like. And the IGK is a professional product, so also I feel like worth the investment, but I think it's a pretty affordable. I don't know. I guess it depends on your price range. But IGK, I'd say, is
It's an investment.
Yeah.
Into
you're
your hair.
getting professional things, so you're going to get those results, you know?
Yeah, for sure. What about makeup? Like, give everyone the tea on, like, how to get good hair, good skin, hair, just basics, even if they don't have, you know.
Yeah. So makeup, I feel like, is there's so many, it's a growing industry, and there's so much out there, so you can, like, if you're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, like, there's so many good resources out there. I will say not everybody's professional, so just, like, use that judgment when you are watching these videos out there. Like, definitely take their tips and tricks, but know that it's probably not always coming from an
sales.
educated. Yeah. So if you're looking for like actual skincare recommendations, I would say like see an esthetician or a dermatologist. I am neither of those things. I just love makeup. And under my cosmetology license, I am licensed to do makeup. But when it comes to
What's your skincare?
I don't. So I just signed up for Ipsy. I am so like dumb when it comes to skincare, I'm being honest, because like it's just not in cosmetology. We don't dive into the skin. We do makeup, but we don't dive into like skin. That's all in esthetician school. So
yeah, it's like biology.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, but I really love Cetaphil is a very affordable brand that you can use. Their moisturizers are very lightweight and like good for all skin types. I really
You
like
heard her.
them.
Go get it.
Yes, and then like a more I guess, more high-end one that I've been loving. I think it's called Biore. It's Byore, and it's like an oat yogurt moisturizer. I don't know, but it's not. It came in the Ipsy box, so sign up for Ipsy. You can try a bunch of things.
Okay. Okay, do you ever work with like men's makeup and hair?
A little bit. I specialize in like longer layered cuts and like color and things like that when it comes to hair. So if a man has like longer hair, I definitely will service them. And then in the makeup world, we get I work with a couple photographers, and there'll sometimes be men who are coming in for headshots that need like some retouching. So like making sure they're not like oily anywhere, or there's no like redness, and making sure their hair is like in place. It's very minimal things when it comes to men, for sure. But I do think it's cool that they're open to doing it for headshots, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Can you tell us one of your favorite ever like client memories and like who you prefer to work with and just types of people?
Yeah. So I don't know if this is like a favorite ever memory, but it's a recent one that came to mind. I had one of my high school English teachers came to get her
I saw
haircut.
that.
Yeah.
I saw that on Facebook.
And yeah, at the time when I was in her class, I was really going through it, and I decided to graduate high school early because I just was sick of it and I wanted to pursue going to get my cosmetology license. So I did graduate early, but in doing that, I had to leave her. It was like an honors English class, and I had to unenroll from that to like hurry up and get these other credits done, basically. So it was like a bittersweet. I didn't like get to have her in class anymore. And then now as an adult, she came for me to cut her hair, and that was really special. I mostly work with, I would say like anywhere from like college age to middle-aged women in their like 40s or 50s. I do enjoy working with college students, but it's very like you build relationships and then they usually leave you, so that's always bittersweet.
Yeah.
And then like my more stable all the time clients are like the established older women. I don't really work with. It was funny, they were asking me in the salon like, have you been advertising for prom that's coming up? And I'm like, no, I don't. Like I just
Oh, yeah.
I don't really work with teens a lot. I do like weddings, and I don't know, I'm kind of into that more like later in life stage, I guess, with people. So
Yeah, that's also kind of like, you know, where you're at as like
Yes.
a mom and like where you're headed.
yes, I agree.
So let's kind of dive into you. What does Beauty by Albany mean?
Yeah, so
And like how do you get into everything?
Beauty by Albany, I feel like came about because I was trying to find like my lane. Who are my people? Like, where do I feel confident finding just who I am? And the beauty world gave me that. I really felt like connected to people through. It's so weird how you can like really connect virtually now. Like, you don't even have to be in the room with people. You should, but you can make friends online, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, I really fell in love with the beauty community, and then high school, like I said, was awful, and I had an opportunity to go work in a salon and apprentice and get my license that way. So it would be like debt-free and a guaranteed job. So, but it takes longer to do it that way. So I graduated high school early and went to pursue that. And then I got pregnant, and that kind of put a halt to like pursuing the apprenticeship. And I just wanted to like stay relevant in the industry. So I was like, what can I do right now in the industry without this license? And at the time, you didn't have to have a license to do makeup. So I just started building my little makeup business and getting into weddings and things like that. I did that for 3 years, and then I had another baby along the way, and finally went back to hair school. Yeah, and then I worked a commission-based salon for a year and like really learned the ropes and the trends and like how to be a good hairstylist. And then last year branched out on my own and like fully started running Beauty by Albany as its own little business.
So how would you define beauty?
That's a hard question. I think beauty is honestly like undefinable. Like each person can define it for themselves. And that's like what I try to practice with my clients, is like meeting them where they're at, letting them know that whatever stage of life that they're at is okay, and like finding something that works for them, whether it's their makeup look that they're going for that day or the haircut or color that they want. I feel like a lot of times we look at social media, there's AI, there's filters, there's plastic surgery, there's all these things that we're seeing online about what beauty should be. And so a lot of times I have to get real with my clients and like let them know that's AI, that's filtered, that's lip filler. Like, and so you have to kind of break that down to them and bring them back down to reality that like, yes, you have wrinkles and they're going to show unless you put a filter on or get Botox. Like, you know what I mean? So, but in a nice way. And
No,
so
I
want
get
them to
it.
feel
I get
normal.
it.
Like,
Yeah,
it's okay
facts.
to have those things, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like, what's the word? Misleading, I guess.
Yes. And it makes us feel like something's wrong with us.
It's probably this like disassociating thing that's happening.
I would agree.
And now even more.
Even through having kids, we feel a little bit dissociated with our bodies for a while or maybe forever. But I think I seen a meme one time that said, it was like Khloe Kardashian before and after the fame. And it was like, you're not ugly, you're just broke. Because it's like all the plastic surgery she's done. It's not funny, but it is
Oh, and then
funny.
she like couldn't get it anymore?
No, like before she had plastic surgery, what she looked like. And then now that she's famous, she said like plastic surgery and like all
so
these
other people can't.
and it's like, you're not ugly, you're just broke, and you like couldn't like do all these
Yeah.
things, you know. But it's not funny, but it's kind of funny.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what does like beauty and like makeup, like how is it significant to your life to where you wanted to like pursue this? Like why did you end up going this route and not a different route?
Yeah, so at first, because when I decided to pursue it, I didn't have kids. So at first it was just like something fun I could do. I was really over, I know I keep saying I was over school. So I didn't want to like go to like.
Why were you over school?
It was horrible. Kids are mean. I probably put myself in situations. I just had a hard time finding my people and making and keeping friends. So I ended up in a lot of like drama and unwanted situations. Yeah. And so it was just not a good time. So it's okay. And I grew a lot from it, but I, like I said, connected with the beauty industry. And then as life changed and I had kids and things evolved, like it still provided freedom and flexibility for me. I can do what I love. I can travel and do what I love. I can take off if I want to go to my kids' little school play or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it just provides a lot of flexibility and freedom, and it doesn't feel like work. It's just fun. My aunt was in cosmetology, so growing up I was like always in the salon with her, so I definitely always enjoyed it. And growing up I would always do my friend's hair or makeup. Like that was always fun to me. So I definitely think it was always a passion. I never saw it as a career. Actually in high school I wanted to go to like be a journalist, and that's like
you did say that.
Yeah. So I didn't really see it as a career until I did start to like really disassociate with high school, and I was like, okay, I really hate this experience. I don't think I could go to a college anymore. Like that doesn't sound fun anymore. I dropped out of doing high school newspaper and just completely was like, I'm getting out of here. What can I do? And so to graduate high school a year early at the high school I went to, you had to like write a letter to the superintendent and ask for permission, and you had to give like a reason as to what if you're going to do like a whole year early, like you have to tell them like, what are you going to do with this year? And so I did that, and I had to come up with something. And since my aunt was in the industry, and so we just knew some people around town that like did hair, had salons, and I reached out to see what my options were. And whenever I found a salon that could do an apprenticeship, it was like, okay, I'm really going to lock in with this. And then once I got in that apprenticeship, I did a year, 1,500 hours of it, got pregnant, and then it was a new like, okay, what are you going to do now? Like you're stuck with this predicament. You're 18 years old. You don't know how to be a mom. And so that's whenever I did just start doing makeup just to make money. It was like the one thing I could do that I didn't have to have a license for. And I didn't really know what I was doing. I can't believe some people paid me to do the makeup. Like when I look back on some of the OG.
Well, you just evolved. You probably still knew what you were doing to like some degree, right?
Girl, barely.
Oh.
Like I knew a lot more about hair going into this apprenticeship, but I didn't even know where to put blush on your face. Like I had to really learn all that stuff from scratch. And
Just
they don't.
right here.
Right? They don't teach you though, like in hair school and stuff. You don't learn makeup. So it was all like self-taught. I'd say 90% of makeup artists out there are self-taught. I'd say 99% of makeup artists.
Yeah, it's almost like an
self-taught.
art form. You know, some
Yes.
people be putting blush like, I've seen like kind of like the other side of hair makeup where it may not be for a wedding or something, where
Yeah.
it's more like they look like a cartoon character
Absolutely,
or something. So,
yes.
but I don't know if they like went to school or if they went to art school or they just draw in. I don't know. but it'd be
Some
looking
of that
dope.
definitely could be like an art school, and there are makeup classes out there you could take, but it really, when I say self-taught, I mean more of like you've got to find somewhere to fit, like just going out and getting a cosmetology license or an esthetician license that covers your ability to go out there and do these things. You're not going to learn it. You've got to go out there and like pay for another class, go to an art school, you know, watch these videos, study other artists, you know.
It's like an ever evolving career.
Yeah. But I actually love that though. It's
That's
always
awesome.
changing.
Okay, what is one of the hardest things about your industry, and how do you manage that?
I would say because it is always changing, there's just like you never really have an opportunity to feel comfortable, and if you're someone who can't accept that, it can be really hard.
Do you keep your identity separate as like a businesswoman, or is all together with being a cosmetologist?
A great question. I feel like I've been thinking about this a lot lately, so it's great that you ask. At first, my identity was Beauty by Albany. Like, I didn't know how to exist outside of that. That's where I found all of my connections, like the people I was hanging out with, the things that I was doing. If it wasn't related to Beauty by Albany, I was probably just with my kids, you know? That's like who I've been for the last 5 years. And now I'm like trying to separate it a little bit and have a personal brand outside of that, because I won't always be behind the chair. Like, that's not the end goal, is to just be a hairstylist. So I am trying to step out and create a personal brand, which is what the podcast is going to be for. I am definitely like full-fledged self-discovery right now. Like that, I'm still, I'm figuring that out. I feel like
You're
I am
ever
so many
evolving.
things.
You're
I'm
all
so-
of these things.
Yeah, because you can easily get caught up in just being a mom, and then you've got to like have some other kind of purpose outside of that. But then I find myself sometimes where I'm working so much and I'm not spending time with my kids. That feels icky too.
Yeah.
So there's like
Find the balance.
Yes, all the things. But I really don't think I'm not the type of person that could just like sit at home and be a housewife. Like, I have to be out there getting to my own money. I am a hustler. So like, my mom sent me something one time that was like, I get depressed when I feel like I'm not being productive, and that's true. Like, I have to always be doing something. So I've accepted that about myself, and it's just like, now, okay, balance. Because I'm probably never going to slow down.
That's awesome, though. That's like grind mentality, and just it fulfills you. So
It can get a little
alongside.
toxic.
Oh. Yeah, then okay, let's work on finding the balance.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes I feel like what can help with that is just like exercising and stuff. Like when it gets to a point of like work and then you're not eating,
Yeah.
and you're surviving off coffee or whatever, it's like, okay, I need to go work out, I need to go for a walk, I need to eat something, and then you'll work better.
Refocus.
Yeah, you'll work better, you'll feel better, spend the time with your children, like,
Yes.
because it can get exciting. You're like super into it, the coffee's kicking in, you're ready to go, you know?
Yes.
So how would you define success? Because I did ask that one, but I'm re-asking.
Another thing that I feel like is also like personally defined, I think success is when you can just feel at peace, like with your everyday. Like, it doesn't always have to be tied to finances either. I've been spending a lot of time like making my house feel homey. I've lived there for like 6 months, and we are going to stay another 1.5 years there. So I really wanted to make it feel homey. So like, that was really important to me, and me defining success is like, at the end of the day, when everything's said and done, where are you going home to? What is that like? You know, I can send my kids to school and they look all pretty and perfect and everything seems great. But like, at the end of the day, what are they coming home to? What am I coming home to? Yeah. I don't know if that was a good answer.
Yeah, that was a great answer.
Okay, great.
Yeah, the real. So what's something that you kind of live by as like a mom? Because I feel like kind of what I'm understanding is like you're really going into like your womanhood, your motherhood, like being a business owner, like all of you. So what's like something you currently live by, like your motto or like your mantra, or like, you know?
Yeah.
What like gets you up in the morning, keep you going?
You've got some thought-provoking questions. I'm here for it, but I'm like, okay.
You have time. I think.
Okay. The question was, what do I live by? Currently, right now, it is definitely about keeping the peace. I am somebody that can easily be like shaken up by stuff, or like have a lot of emotion around things that maybe don't need that much emotion. So I've been choosing peace and thinking before I respond, before I react in every aspect, whether it's a client, a personal relationship, family, my kids, everybody, like just choosing peace. And like whenever I'm really getting emotional about something, just taking a step back. So that's been really important because sometimes it can be crazy busy at work or crazy kids. And so, yeah, choosing peace. I have anxiety, and so I will quite literally create scenarios in my brain, and then usually people stop there, and they're like, okay, but that's not real. Me, I'm like, oh, that, like, and then it becomes a reality, and I'm like living in this made up story that I think is going to happen to me or something around me. So doing nothing, because then I can usually come back to reality eventually, you know? But it used to be I would react in those moments, and then now I'm like word vomiting all of these things that aren't real. That sounds actually manic.
It's a form of like disassociating, like especially because some of it could be real due to like past traumas or triggers or anything like that. But then just separating, okay, what's important right now in this moment, so I can not go crazy, not crash out. What role does self-reflection kind of play in your journey?
The biggest. Like the biggest role. I feel like almost too much. People probably are like so annoyed. I have this, I don't know if you follow, you probably do. I have this like Snapchat. That's a private Snapchat story where I just like go on these rampages about self-help, self-reflection, whatever. But it's literally the only thing that's gotten me through, like, I guess since the high school age. Like once I started having kids and realized, okay, you've got to be like a better human for them. So yeah, I love reading self-help books. I love journaling.
What's something you've read that like you want to share with everyone?
Yeah, so I love Jen Sincero. I hope I'm saying her name right, but she has a series of books called You Are a Badass. And so there's like the OG You Are a Badass, and then there's several little spin-offs, and there's like ones about making money and creating habits. And she writes in a way that's not, because like self-help books can sometimes get a little boring and bland and very like, your brain is made up of these chemicals and this is why you know what I mean? Like it sometimes can get very like, feels like work. Like you have to, and it sometimes will bring
I'll be like, I need to get up and do what it's telling me to do right now.
Yes, and then like, it brings up trauma too, you know? She writes in a way that's like fun. You could like, she'll make you laugh. She cusses a little bit. It's very lighthearted, and like, it almost inspires you though, like in a different way. Because sometimes the inspiration that comes from these books can almost then be defeating, because you're like, damn, but I don't have the energy to go do these things, or I don't have the time to go do these things. And then you beat yourself up because now I can't get there. She like writes it in a way that makes it fun and encouraging. So I really love her books. There's also one out there called The Audacity to Be Queen by Gina DeVee. I probably read that once a year. If you're trying to dive into your feminine energy and like own your power as a woman, read that book. So
Cool.
yes.
Looking back, what's a fear you had when you were younger? Tell the viewers like what you wouldn't do again.
I think everybody has their thing, of course. Whatever thing you were maybe like, I don't know, maybe not everybody experiences like bullying or getting picked on, but everybody does, right? I don't know, at some point maybe in your life. Whatever your thing was, for me, it was that though. Like how I viewed myself on a physical level held me back from a lot of things and or put me in situations. So that's very like, what are you trying to say? I either wouldn't apply myself in the right areas because I didn't feel like physically I was like, I didn't feel good about myself, so I just wouldn't go apply myself. And the areas that I would apply myself, aka like men or like just throwing myself out there, it was all like looking back because it was like self-conscious issues and like chasing somebody to give you that validation. So I wish I would have like discovered how to love myself sooner, but like I was 12, I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes like growing up, we chase different things because of we feel like we lack in different areas, whether it's like a confidence thing or just like for some people it's like trauma in the house, so then they run them in.
That too.
Just like whatever, just like your parents don't teach you like these certain things. I'm not trying to blame my parents, but
well, they don't know either. That's why they didn't teach you.
It becomes like generational and just like like teaching your children how to love themselves. So like teaching that and like creating those morals and stuff like that.
I agree.
But thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
If you could look back and tell yourself one thing, what would it be?
If I could tell myself one thing, like just who I am is enough.
Facts.
Yeah. I feel like that's very basic. Like everybody, of course.
It's so simple though, like it's so good. Just that simplicity. That's all you need to say to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Bible says that.
Who?
The Bible.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Why you say it like that?
Because I thought you said a person. I wasn't expecting you to say the Bible.
Okay, what's a friendship that, you've had throughout like your career that has helped you and like taught you valuable lessons and just yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a mentor or like anyone that, kind of helped you on your journey, or it could be your mom, it could be anyone.
Yeah. So I recently connected with, I'd say like a lot of my best mentors currently are people I've recently connected with, which is fun. Someone named Kaylee, shout out to her, Kaylee Concannon. She's another salon owner and makeup artist in the same area I live in. And it can get a little competitive because it's a small area. So it was really nice to connect with her, and there was no like competition or anything like that. She was really open to like teaching me things that I maybe needed help with. I don't know if she loves to, I'm speaking for her at this point. We go.
Is competition like a thing in the industry where people like...
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And she's not like that. And so like we've gone to like makeup classes, we're going to go to a hair class together and like just doing industry things together. And she's a little bit older than I am with more experience. So it's been really nice to like get her perspective. And she's just, she's just one of those people that like pours into you. There's no gatekeeping. Like she just...
That's awesome.
Yeah. Love her.
How important do you think it is to like have a mentor?
Very important. Very important. You have to see that there's like, things are possible for you. Proximity is everything. You have to know that like there are people out there actually doing it. It's one of the main reasons I want to move out of the area I'm in. I feel like I've reached my capacity. I've networked
That's
hell
awesome.
out of that area. Like I know people. I would say, I mean, not to sound cocky, but I feel like I'm one of the most recommended people for hair and makeup in the area that I live in, especially when it comes to bridal, because that's my baby. I've been working on that.
You
for
busy
the longest.
then? You booked up.
But I feel like I'm at my capacity in that area, and like the other areas in which that I haven't explored, they're not my people, So like,
do you want to go into like different fields? Because because you said weddings. Like, do you want to get into like a different area?
I want to really capitalize on weddings. I haven't peaked at like the potential of what weddings can do for me. I think I've peaked at my reach in the area.
Okay.
Because you can do bridal anywhere. Right now, I'm only booking weddings in my little area. I could be booking weddings here in Kansas City,
travel.
St. Louis, like out of state. People do destination weddings and they'll hire you to come with them. Like there's a lot more I haven't touched within the bridal for sure. So yeah, definitely growing that side of things.
What's your favorite? Is that your favorite then? Like doing weddings? Is it because of like their special day?
Yeah, special day, always good vibes. I love. I'm a hopeless romantic, so I don't know if I'll ever get married, but I get to go to so many weddings. So at least I can live through their beautiful weddings if I never get my own.
How do you build and like maintain the relationships that you have with your clients?
Yeah, so I keep them a little client profile, and I take notes on their color and their cuts and like whatever I need to know about them. That way I can remember the next time. I also try to connect with them on social media, or at least I have like in their client profile their phone number contact. And so
do you know them like personally too? Like are they talking to you while they're doing their hair about their life?
Yes.
Okay.
So some of them I've met just like I'm in the salon and they just come in and then they're stuck with me and then we get to know each other and they stay. Some of them are people I've met on social media by like marketing on Instagram, and then yeah, I guess people be finding me online. Like at this point now, it's like I have a Google profile. So like if they Google Salon Columbia, I'll be somebody that comes out,
Do you have Instagram. Like your own salon out there? Because
I rent a station.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And so then I'll once I have them in their client profile, from there, then I send out like text campaigns all the time to like get them coming back in. I try to keep up with like, what do they get done? What's their maintenance? So I recommend to them when they should be coming back. Then my booking system will text them at that point and be like, hey, it's been 6 weeks. you should come back in.
Get back
Yeah.
in.
So
That's cool.
I try to like keep up with them. If I haven't seen them in a while, I'll like reach out and be like, hey, what's going on? Is there anything I can do to like create a better experience for you? That is definitely like something. Now that I'm doing it by myself, I realize that there's a lot. Like when you're commissioned, they're doing that stuff for you, you know?
Yeah. So what's like one of your most favorite parts and hardest parts about like managing your own business as well as doing the practical service with it too, right? Because it's kind of a lot to manage.
Girl, you telling me. My favorite part,
And like the taxes and
Girl,
all
fuck
that.
that.
Like get into that.
yeah. My favorite part is ultimately the flexibility. Like that's the number one reason I do it by myself. I could very easily go back to commission and just like be somebody's bitch. Sorry to those of you out there who are commission stylists. You are not somebody's bitch. Eventually, it will get to feel that way.
Yeah.
And you'll have to let it go. And that's your journey. So I'm sorry that I said it that way. Don't want to discourage anyone. But I can't go back to that. So the biggest freedom is, my favorite thing is the freedom. Gosh, words are hard. The hardest part is, all the business stuff of like, people will text and call you any time of day. You've got a million. I get inquiries for brides, inquiries for hair. Do you do extensions? Can I come in at this time? Can you please move my appointment? I'm running late. Oh, I actually don't want to do what I booked for anymore. Oh, actually my dog died and I need 20 minutes to cry right now and then we can do my hair. And these are all like, it's fine. It's okay, but it's like, damn girl. Okay, well somebody's behind you. So now I'm behind. So now I need to go text that person, but I also need to be doing your hair. So I can't go text that person. Like,
especially once you start getting so booked like that, it's like, okay, my time is actually like, at first, you're like all those little things, but now it's like, okay, this is money, this is time. It's like,
and then social media, that's a whole, like, you got to be online. And so it does get to be a lot. And you can't do it all. So having a team, having friends in the industry, mentors, being able to delegate, having somebody you trust to help you with things, is the only way.
Yeah, that's really cool though.
It is.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So when did you go from being like because I assume you were like a sole proprietor, right, before?
No.
Okay, when did you go from freelance? You were freelance before you got like
I did
official business, so like
much shit so backwards. It was like, because I, went to this apprenticeship. Basically, in an apprenticeship, it's like either you go to hair school or you apprentice. If you apprentice, you do 3,000 hours. If you go to school, it's 1,500. So they double it if you do an apprenticeship. So I first went to this apprenticeship and did 1,500 hours just like working for them. They're teaching me things.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the union then.
Yeah, you get to work and get your license simultaneously. So then once I got pregnant, I did begin freelancing because I didn't have a license. So then I just started freelancing, doing makeup for myself, like weddings. And then I finally
You need a license to be like in the professional, like
to charge
wedding.
for it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Now you do. You didn't back in the day. And people still do it.
I'm sorry, but you said that like you like 50, like back in the day.
It feels that way.
It changed
aging,
then,
man.
like what, 2020 or something?
2022.
Okay.
Yeah, it did change. So I freelanced with the makeup for 3 years. And then I finally went and got my hair license. And so then at that point, it was weird. I was doing both. I was a commissioned hairstylist at a salon where like I would show up and take whatever clients are on my books that day. She provided everything I needed to work. And then I would get like 46% of the sales for the day, So I did that for a year. But while I was doing that, I was still freelancing my bridal business, makeup. So as of 2024, September, I've been fully working for myself, hair and makeup both.
Cool.
That's kind of confusing.
Why?
Because I was like I did too much. I did a lot.
No, you just like kind of stepped into like your own field once your clients kind of got to a point where
Situated.
you could do that as well. And then like organize it and everything. Okay, so your specialties in hair.
Yeah. I love doing like lived in, low maintenance highlights and color. And I love doing bridal makeup. Those are, I'd say, my two specialties. Although I am trying to get into hair extensions because oh my God, people pay gazillions of dollars for hair extensions. And I'm trying to make gazillions of dollars, so.
You ever braid hair?
No,
Okay.
I know. You judging me a little bit?
No, I'm just like trying to get like a full glimpse of like, I've never been to like a salon and like that style.
Atmosphere, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like very different for me. Like I do my own hair and like what
You should go to the
happens.
salon sometime.
What happens. Yeah, I should.
And just like hang out. I'll give you a blowout or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, for reals, come on.
Okay, girl. We could talk about that. Yeah. And how have you been able to, like, trust the different people that you're working with?
At this point, I don't really have to put trust in anybody else but myself, which is actually a great feeling. I thought it was scary at first, but now at this point, like, as long as I pay my rent on time, I'm doing me. Nobody else is responsible for anything that comes out of it but me. Now the podcast is with a friend, and so that's been different. And I think it's just when you are working with other people, like, just being honest about what you have the capacity to handle, what you can bring to the table, and what you can't. Because if you set unclear expectations, shit's gonna hit the fan. I think the biggest thing with trying to build trust, regardless of if it's personal or business, is just being honest about where you're at, what you can handle, and what you have the capacity to contribute.
Yeah.
And then they should be able to trust you because you were honest with them, you told them what you could do, and there should be no confusion.
So what do you see the future looking like for you?
Fully diving into, like, making bridal makeup and hair my number one source of income. When I move to another city, I don't know if I'll keep doing hair. That's been something that's, like, really up in the air right now. But I will definitely keep doing bridal, and I would love to keep growing my podcast and have other, like, speaking engagements. I would love to be hosting events and retreats, working with the photographers that I work with, just creating more experiences. So yeah, definitely a business transition, a living transition, and then just being the most present mom I can be, because my kids are now, he's going to kindergarten next year, so that'll be a whole new world of, like, them at school and stuff.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on the Big Space podcast, a moment in space where we stay still, stay vibey, stay chill out here. Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast, the show. Yeah, it was a great conversation. And this is Albany. This is Beauty by Albany. This is No One Asked. This is Albani Beza.